Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another segment of Evening Cigars with James. I know I had to take a break from it because I was smoking way too many cigars. Reason being because I was running late with doing morning coffees. But I like this idea, so we're gonna keep doing this. I might do this on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis. Who knows? This may be like a twice a month thing, maybe 3 times a month. I am currently near a train station, so if you hear something loud and obnoxious driving by, it is the parasite known as SEPTA train system, which honestly, no, not disrespecting people who work there, but just the fact that SEPTA's full of shit. That's all. For those who live in Pennsylvania, in this part of the Pennsylvania where SEPTA is everywhere, you understand what I mean. Fucking scumbags. We demand more money. It's like, fuck off. If there was another train system like that, it's like New York. There's more than one transit system in New York, and they're all independently owned. I would like that. But what are we talking about today? Well, I want to talk about, again, this has kind of been a discussion about masculinity and where we see men in this world nowadays, and something that's been kind of bugging me about, feminism in that sense too. I know another man screaming about feminism, but it's like this kind of narcissistic group of people that I just cannot stand. And it's like, again, white liberal women who claim to be the best at everything, the best as ever, and they're not. They're absolutely scum, Granted, am I trashing all women? No. I believe in classical feminism. There is such a thing as classical feminism, classical liberalism, classical conservatism, and classic Americana. Like Hunter S. Thompson, a lot of people don't like Hunter S. Thompson. I know, because he's like, oh, he did drugs and that was it. You obviously didn't listen to his fucking words, you stuck up sons of bitches. And I know he wasn't a perfect man. All right? He wasn't a perfect man. But I think he was a perfect American. Like, in my mind. Like, granted, as a family man, not so much, but honestly, that's not where I'm judging him. I'm judging him on what I see of him. Yes, was he into drugs? Of course he was, but he was also into guns. Like, this is a guy who understood the power of firearms, or better yet, the understanding of weaponry. That everybody should have a weapon. That should own a weapon of some sort, a firearm of some sort. He understood that. Like, if anything, if you know anything about Hunter S. Thompson, it's, he wrote for Rolling Stones, he wrote his own books, the movie's based on him with Johnny Depp and Bill Murray, the character that he played, the character that he presents himself, and the guns, all those things strung together. And the writer, like, a lot of people kind of forget that. I think he's a great American because he explored the aspects of all Americana and made a story about him, like this weird, bizarre journalist who's going into the depths of everything. You know what I mean? Like, the closest I could say who is the closest gonzo journalist is, I know people are going to be upset at me. I know there's a better guy out there, but the one I can really think of is Alex Jones. Because he does, like, put himself out there a lot. I mean, for fuck's sakes, how many... count them times he's been a meme machine. Like, alright, I'm gonna confess, I'm kind of retarded. Or better yet, when he does this. Or the, I don't want to, the gay frogs thing. It's like, he's such a meme machine, but he's also, like, interacting with people, too, being on podcasts. The best podcast he's been on was Logan Paul's. And my God, that man didn't know what the hell he was getting, because Logan Paul's kind of a moron, but the fact that he thought for a moment, it was, oh, this is gonna be like, it's gonna be like Joe Rogan, we're gonna have fun, and it's like, he didn't know what the fucking do, and I'm like, oh, that was the best. I'm not a big Logan Paul fan, absolutely not. I think the thing he did in Japan was absolutely disgusting. I think he needs somebody to rein him in and be like, what the fuck are you doing, you stupid asshole? I'm not to say, like, I don't know. Like, again, you can hate him or love him. I think he needs somebody to just rein him in and be like, yo, look at your mistakes you've made and wisen up. Because you're going to regret this when you get older, my friend. There goes that SEPTA train again, fuckers. Fuck you. One time I was coming home from school from Temple University. Fuck them. We were waiting a good hour for that train to come back, and it was freezing cold out. Freezing cold in Philadelphia. And it finally arrived, and they had the audacity, luckily I had money, but they had the audacity to charge us. And they charged this one lady, and like, the one dude was rude to her. She's like, wait a minute, we were waiting out there for, 50 minutes, and you want us to charge us? Well, if you don't like it, you can walk. And it's like, honestly, you wonder why they put up those signs that say don't assault, assaulting SEPTA employees is an offense. Because the shit they say, the shit they get away with, it's like they want to be, like, this is what happens when you don't have a villain to fucking shake things up. This is what happens when you don't have a bad guy to, like, remind everybody, maybe we shouldn't be bad. Like, maybe we shouldn't be awful to each other. Maybe this guy is telling us something. This is why I put American supervillain under my thing. So, yeah. But honestly, I think it's absolutely fucking disgusting. Like smoking and spitting. I don't give a shit, though. But the one thing I will address, though, and this is something I have to say, especially when it comes to going back on the subject of feminism, is the fact that they're kind of narcissistic. And especially people who have gotten college degrees and stuff like that, and, again, it's mostly the leftists, and I'm talking about the radical left, the people who voted for Joe Biden and admit he doesn't have dementia, which honestly he fucking does. And I'm tired of everybody being like, "Well, that's not so. You're accusing him." And it's like, why is it a bad thing when you just admit it? Like, okay, fine. Can he take a test? Can he take a cognitive test? We asked him about it, but you all got defensive about that shit. You rammed it up Donald Trump's ass if you wanted it one. It's like, what the fuck? Seriously, folks, what the flying fuck? It's like you made fun of Reagan for having dementia. But here's the funny thing. That was at the end of his term, and he was on his way out. Like, that was, like, coming in, like, towards the bitter end. Like, he was, like... And also, like, I've heard rumors that he faked it just to, like, to avoid questioning and not, something or another, one thing or another, but it's just fucking ridiculous. And I like Reagan, like, character-wise, like, policy-wise, I'm not so great, but, I just find it baffling that they're, like, and the thing with, like, I'm going political here, I know that I'm going too political here, I should back away from it. This is not about fucking politics, god damn it. It's about fucking masculinity. But I'm just noticing this trend, and in just this trend of just people, like, telling masculinity is wrong. Like, I had this discussion in a sauna earlier this morning at LA Fitness in the sauna. This guy was going on talking, and he was a talker, but he was talking about, boxing and fighting and all this shit, and kind of getting a little aggressive. Like, honestly, I don't know if he was on cocaine or not. I don't know. I don't know his name well, so he's protected. But he was a electrician. But he works. I don't know. I think he's a bullshit artist. I don't know. But they talk. He was talking really fast, looking at me, jumping around, and I'm like, he was talking about masculinity and femininity, and it's like, talking about getting hit by your mom, and it's like, I kind of want to be like, I was kind of agreeing with him, but I was also kind of being like, yeah, like, I find, it's the problem with this country. There's no male figures in here that are strong enough to tell a woman to shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Or just like, and this is a strange thing, but I agree now with Sean Connery. Like, there's an interview about hitting women, and before anybody shuts me down or shits on my face, or you shut this video down and be like, oh, you're for abusing women. I'm not for abusing women. I'm not for physically smacking a woman around, brutally beating her. No. If you listen to Sean Connery's interview with Barbara Walters, he makes this very clear. You don't fucking lay violent hands on a woman. Say if you can, like he explained this, when a woman, when a woman gets, wins an argument, she wins the argument. But sometimes she just wants more. So you just gotta remind her, you just gotta set it in her place. And I'm not saying in the sense of just domestically beating her to death with a baseball bat. No. Like a smack in the face. And this is where I think people kind of like, I understand them now. It's like, oh, I understand you now. Not to say like that's appropriate, but you need to put like, I think what Sean Connery was trying to tell people, it's like you gotta put your foot down and say enough. Because they don't, again, like, say if you do get into an argument with your wife or girlfriend, and then you say, okay, give her it to her. You give her the win, but she's not satisfied with it. She wants more. I say bend her over your knee and smack her on the ass. That's where I'm at right now. Like, I'm not sexist. Oh, no. I think a woman can be strong. I think a woman can be powerful. I believe in the empowerment of women. But there are some women out there who are just greedy and want unlimited power. They just want more. They just want to be men and be dominant in everything. And, and you wonder why you think penis envy doesn't exist. It fucking does exist. They don't have a penis, so they just try to act like men. And it's like not funny. Look at Amy Schumer. And again, I go back to this too. And I thought about this and I'm like, yeah, women comedians can be funny. The problem is they act too much like men. They act too much like men, and that's the issue. Like, and this is why you have a effeminate male culture now, who wear skinny jeans and have their hair like swapped over like they're Zorg from, the Fifth Element. 0 stones, 0 crates. I love Gary Oldman in that role. My God, I keep forgetting that was him in that role. Why would you hide? Of all those killers in there, they never asked what the little red button was. I fucking love the Fifth Element. But that's my problem with, like, feminism nowadays. Or women's movements. It's like, women, you have won everything. But yet you still ask for more. And I don't understand why. It's like, and I understand Sean Connery. It's like men need to step up and just tell women to shut the fuck up. Tell them to go. Like, you know what? I had this argument with my mom. Like, I'm glad I didn't put the video up, but I called her a nasty name, which I'm kind of now regretting not saying it to that world. But honestly, she's not here, and I'm not going to say it right now, but I'll discuss it in a different video far, far away from home. But let's just put it this way. She was okay with, she's not like, she's a gaslighter, so it's a little hard to fight a gaslighter. She agrees with, sorting out all the Trump supporters in the military. That is fucking dangerous. Like, anybody who's right-wing leaning, anybody who disagrees with what was going on, any military that agrees with, who supports Donald Trump, that is fucking dangerous. And I'm sorry to say we're going back into the politics thing, but I'm gonna have to go into it. Fuck it, I don't care. I'm smoking cigars, I'm armed, I'm fucking frustrated, not dangerous, just frustrated. I can be dangerous. That's the thing, we need dangerous men. Like, people say he's armed and dangerous. It's like, well, I'm gregarious, alright? I can be dangerous, but I'm gregarious. Hey, how are you? I'm armed, but hey, how are you? People are so fucking uptight nowadays, and especially the older conservatives, which honestly, I don't know why they're so fucking, like, pussyfoot. They talk a big game, but when push comes to shove, it's like, oh, we gotta do the right thing. We're Christians. It's like, we're Catholics. We believe in, don't let anybody use your religion against you. Alright? Even the Crusaders. You know what the Crusades was really about? It really wasn't about, fighting, it wasn't about them going into Israel and destroying everything. It was about them fucking up the Ottoman Empire that overstated their reach. Nobody wants to admit that part. Because the white man is bad. And you know what? Fuck you. I'll play the part of the villain. I am an American supervillain after all. I got the goatee, I got the Van Dyke going on, the sunglasses, the white skin, the black hair. You should see me in my full form, man, my full outfit. Does that make me a racist? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Trust me, there's a lot of black women I follow on Instagram. You should see my porn collection. Just joking. A lot of people are like, I don't know, that's too much information. It's like, well, you know. Shock value. Of course. Remember, American supervillain. And I'm smoking. Apparently that's not good for me, and I should be told millions of times by the anti-smoking league that I shouldn't be smoking by a bunch of hipsters who smoke marijuana. Look, you're smoking marijuana. Do you think it's safer? Absolutely not. And I'm not saying that's... I'm saying that a little bit, but let me smoke my cigar, all right? I actually had this one guy, and I'm not going to mention his name, but he said to me, cigars are such the pussiest, the weakest form of tobacco. And I'm like, why is that? Oh, because it's a big phallic thing that you people are so obsessed about penises so much. It's like, none of you really have one. Which, honestly, you do have one. It's just the fact that they told you to tuck it up between your, body, like a fucking animal. Let that thing swing loose, goddammit. And you may be wondering, why I'm talking about swinging dicks and all of a sudden. It's like, well, you know what? There's no appreciation for the male genitalia anymore. Not to say, okay, now I'm getting into some deep water here, so I'm going to retread real quick. But what I was trying to say is that, and especially, black men don't have this issue, and I already talked about this in another video, but black men have that myth and stereotype behind them that everybody portrays, including white men. Which, honestly, there was that story I was telling about that comedian Andrew, this one dude, the only black dude at this thing, Andrew, and a bunch of liberal white dudes and me. And I think my friend Kyle, and I think this was right after the election with Trump, everybody was making jokes about their penises and praising his, and I was like, what the fuck? Stop, cucking your own penis, alright? Stop that. First, and second of all, you're probably making this guy insecure, because you're thinking he probably has a horse between his fucking legs. And I can imagine every black dude underneath going, fuck, if they only knew I'm just average size, man. Stop. I've seen What if we just made fun of an Asian dude, and the Asian dude had a big dick? It's like, yeah, I'm Godzilla, motherfucker! Fuck you! Fucking white man. Yeah, you talking black man is big, I got Godzilla between my legs. I really don't give a fuck anymore. I really don't. And this is the only time I get to do comedy. I miss doing stand-up. I miss actually just doing stand-up on a stage, talking to people and just rambling on, which I should have material, but I'm not a material guy. I'm just a guy who goes rambling on for 19 minutes so far. And this should have been a 15-minute video, but I kept talking about politics, and it keeps creeping up on my ass. Which I have to mention this too. I'll mention it in just a moment, but I'm focusing on the topic here, so... but it just seems like women, especially older women who are in their, a little bit 45 and beyond, are, what's really benefiting feminism. Boomer feminists are the worst kind of feminists. Young feminists, Gen Z and millennial feminists are not that bad. They just need to be woken up a little bit. Whatever you were fed was a line of bullshit. You have to, and again, it's this way we're treating our society nowadays, that we're praising ugliness as the new beauty, and I think that's absolutely disgusting. Now that they're getting rid of Victoria's Secret models and replacing them with lesbians, and no, not the good kind of lesbians, the fucking ugly lesbians. And there's nothing wrong with the ugly lesbians. It's just the fact that there's standards for being a Victoria's Secret angel. All right, it's like being a Playboy bunny. There's a certain standard. They're bred for that shit. There are women out there who are bred, who are basically, God said, you will be a Victoria's Secret underwear model. and I will send you down to the earth to make all the women jealous or inspire them, and all the men aroused and maybe jealous too. I don't know. Don't ask me why I said that, because I thought it was funny when I said it in my head. But by God, man, by God, these people need to stop sometimes. You know what I mean? And it really does bug the shit out of me just to see this kind of nonsense being played out in our country nowadays. It's like, it's this, like, look, and I get it, plus size women can be gorgeous too, but there's a standard group of people that are specifically for that. Like, and again, with Instagram, you don't really, or the internet, you really don't need to be like a Playboy bunny. Why is it that, you know, we need to get rid of anything beautiful? This is a culture of evil. And not to say that, oh, well, I'm ugly and I'm going to stay ugly. No. I used to think that too. I used to think, I'm just going to be fat. I'm fat. I'm going to be fat for the rest of my life. Who gives a shit? Until I decided no. Enough was fucking enough. So at the age of 16, I walked myself down to the gym, and I thought I was too ugly to be in the gym. And you know what? Fuck it. I had fun. I wasn't good at anything, but I played. Who cares if you're not good at anything? Just do it. Fucking, I went there and I didn't stop. I stumbled, I fell, but I didn't stop. And now I've learned. And now I understand the secret of dieting, which, by the way, we can't keep that a fucking secret. By the way, we're eating too many carbs. By the way, fats are not bad for you. Saturated fats, in fact. Eggs, bacon, excuse me. And by the way, meat's not bad for you. Don't ever think, I know I'm getting into the, don't worry, I think I pissed off all my vegan friends, but they're not the militant kind, I think. They were in the military, but they're not militant. You know. And I also made a joke about that. I also got involved with some vegans too, and I said, yeah, you know, we're treating diet as a cult. And I'm like, I got made fun of too. Oh, we're going to talk about peas and stuff. It's like, you go out and protest animals' rights and cruelty, and everybody's so upset about the animal cruelty, and it's like, thank God I follow it, like, that one dairy farmer, I forget his goddamn name, but, like, he actually showed me, like, he actually shows what it's like to be a dairy farmer. Like, you know, they treat the cows with respect and dignity, and also the fact that we treat animals, and this is a weird thing, too, and I'm going to try to get into my thing I was talking about. We treat animals like as if they're like either weak and vulnerable or powerful and dangerous. And sometimes we as a society have been so coddled from like the dangers of the real world. I mean, I'm out in the open here, and somebody could come up to me with a gun, or like an animal could come up and try to attack my car. Like a lion, like if this was Africa, I would have been like, shit, I need to roll up the windows. There could be a lion nearby. But there's none. Because we're coddled. And yet, we still fear like animals coming to kill us and eat us. And, you know, we still have this image. I mean, fucking Walt Disney, the only thing I can say about him is that he fucking ruined deer for Bambi, with Bambi. And Bambi's a masculine kind of like animal. Like, he grows up to be a buck. I mean, a beautiful buck too, and fights. You know, they call him a sissy, but it's like, yo, he's not a sissy, alright? Like, when he's the fawn, yeah, but, like, everybody sees him as the fawn. It's the same thing with the Christians with the baby Jesus. I mean, Jesus is now in his 30s. Give it the fuck up, folks. Same thing with Bambi. Bambi's in his 30s. He's a buck now. Get over it. But I don't know. It just fucking irritates the shit out of me. It just irritates the shit out of me just seeing this fucking everybody shame. You know, we're allowing this shit, but it's like, yo, like, why do you want to suppress somebody else's freedoms? Because he doesn't agree with you? No, I'm sorry. I don't. I'm not buying into the con anymore. I'm not. Which, by the way, I'm going to talk about something real quick, and, you know, I might save that for tomorrow because it is involving politics, so fuck yeah. Because I think I've talked long enough. I'm 25 minutes into this, so I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care, love you, and bye-bye. And, you know, let men be men. I don't know if I went perfectly on topic here, but fuck it. It's cigar time.